In the earlier chapter, you learned about unified meditation as a process whereby you identify the soul and you do various activities with that soul. Then you react with the meta soul, and eventually you practice for your final ascension. That was the overall meditation plan of unified meditation. In this chapter, I want to talk about micromanagement of the meditation process. I have been a management consultant in the last 20 years. Sure, I did not use my engineering knowledge for the purpose of designing, maintaining, and re engineering machines. But I used the essence of engineering in designing, maintaining, and re engineering organizations. Within this, I designed processes of activities, workflows, operations, strategies, systems. While in the world of mechanical engineering, which I studied, it was all about metallic stuff or other kinds of materials that made the machines, and those machines did work. In my management consulting practice, I focused on the abstract machines, which consisted mainly of sales, customer service, financial management, negotiations, entrepreneurship, inventory, marketing, and so on. For any organization to run smoothly, all these subcomponents or machines had to work perfectly also. The way I studied engineering helped me make those organizational systems and processes effective and efficient. I guess I was not the only one from engineering to make a dent in management. Most of the management gurus come from engineering. The most notable one is Frederick Taylor, who is also known as the father of scientific management. The reason I'm bringing you this part of my life is that I have approached meditation with the same rigor I provided consulting in management. You need to have a proper system, and as per my favorite management writer, Peter Drucker, you need to have a plan and a way to control your actions. So, in this section, I want to describe to you how I design a system for people like you to excel and make advancements in unified meditation. There is 10 steps below that will teach you how to plan and execute and then evaluate each of your meditation sessions and your overall meditation practice. Again, I have made those steps very broad, meaning that there can be thousands of variations within those 10 steps. The fundamental principle in those 10 steps is that in unified meditation, the most important thing is for you to identify yourself as the soul and treat the spiritual worlds as the body treats the physical worlds. That is the most important characteristics of unified meditation. Unlike other forms of meditation, which do not specifically require you to acknowledge the spiritual world. In my teachings, this is the most important aspect of. As you will see in the next chapter, this is what I call soul work, and it's the final step in the full meditation process. Then many or most of the meditation techniques today are oriented in the earlier steps before this soul work final step. You have to complete the earlier steps, but here I'm teaching you the final step first. You must know what eventually meditation is supposed to be. In the earlier section, I gave you the analogy of the astronaut. Well, this meditation 10 steps is a way for you to train for the final day when you will really enter the spiritual world. Also, I gave you the analogy of the key and the keyhole. By practicing these 10 steps, you will be changing the shape of your key, and with every try it will be like you are trying to open the door to the spiritual world. Then one day when your practice is the perfect fit, the door will open, but that might take a very long time. So even though there are just 10 steps here, as I told you, there are thousands of variations within these 10 steps. By trying as many variations as possible, you increase the chance of making the perfect fit of your key and opening the door to the spiritual world. I want to bring another metaphor here. Meditation is like going on a holiday. I was not so much aware of holidays before I was a management consultant to one of the big travel agencies in my country. I realized how meticulously the travel agent planned the holidays. On day one, you would do this, on day two, you would do that, and so on. And then there would be a time wise breakdown like breakfast at this time, then sightseeing at this time, lunch at this time, free time at this time, and dinner at this time. Also, you'll be provided with various activities you could do. Without such a itinerary, what would happen is somebody would land in a foreign country and would not know what to do, and would spend the whole 2 3 days that he was supposed to be on a holiday figuring out what to do, and most likely he would just sit there doing nothing and going nowhere. So that is the importance of an itinerary and plan. And then I want to bring the other metaphor of a teacher who is supposed to finish a course within a year or a semester. He has to make a lesson plan for each class. So he has to decide what the topics he's going to cover within that 1 hour, and then he has to make an overall list of lesson plans for the whole semester so that he can know how to manage the completion of his course. In this way, he is not lost once in his class, and the students, if provided the lesson plan, would know what is being covered. That said, even a great teacher reaches a point where he doesn't need a lesson plan at all after years and years of structured teaching. Later on, he can improvise and make the best use of the situation that he finds himself in and customize his lesson according to the students and that particular situation. In fact, at this time, the teaching is even more effective. However, to reach that stage, that teacher has got to go for years and years of proper planning and controlling of his lessons. I am bringing these two concepts of itinerary and lesson plan here because these 10 steps are going to do the same work for you in meditation. The problem with people is that they don't see meditation as a trip or as a course to complete. They just think it's shutting your eyes and breathing a bit, reciting something, and visualizing a few things. The very assumption that these meditation practices are based on are faulty. Those meditation techniques are the preliminary or the earlier steps for the final step of soul work, which the 10 steps here are going to talk about. The assumption that I am making in these following 10 steps of unified meditation is that we are the soul, and there is something called the spiritual world, which is as real as the physical world. However, the former behaves differently than the latter. The next assumption I'm making is that by learning the laws, principles that govern the spiritual world, we can do a lot of things in it. And then the most important thing that I'm assuming here is when we shut our eyes, our soul becomes active, and there are mainly three things that the soul is supposed to do. Number one, it is doing stuff. In the related section, we'll talk more about what are those stuff. But for now, I want to bring you the analogy of the holiday. When you go on this trip, you do things right? Like you eat, you sleep, you sightsee, you talk to people, you drink, you bask in the sun, you hike. So these are all things that we do. Similarly, in the spiritual world, we also do stuff. And that's what we do when we meditate. Number two, when we close our eyes, we are supposed to go somewhere. I provided you the analogy earlier on of not staying in the same room in the meditation but going outside. In meditation, you are supposed to move around, go somewhere. I'll be providing you with the fuller explanation on where you can go in the spiritual world in the upcoming section. Again, it's like when you go on a holiday, and we don't spend the 4 days of our holiday in the hotel room, do we? Number three, when we close our eyes, we are supposed to be somebody else. You don't have to be the same person that you are when your eyes are open. In fact, you're not supposed to be that same person. In the spiritual world, you have to be somebody else. It's like a dream. But again, let me give you the analogy of the holiday. When we go on a holiday, we simply let our hair down, and we allow ourselves to be basically cooler, calmer than in our hometown. This is because nobody recognizes us in the new place, and we can be somebody else that we wish to be. For example, when we go on holiday, my wife loves to dress down or lighter than in the hometown because it's more conventional here. In this way, the 10 steps of unified meditation will help you plan your trip, holiday, or course in the spiritual world. So, welcome.